preparing the live stream now, so we should be going live in just a second. I'll give you the go ahead. 1 second. All right, Mayor, I believe we are live.
All right, we will call this meeting on the 16th of February to order at 8:34 a.m. I am assuming, Julia, that we have a quorum. You've made sure we have a quorum with everyone that's called in, correct?
Correct.
Okay, with that, we will move into the first item on the agenda, which is public comment. The only thing I would ask is if Rick is on the phone, if we have any updates for citizens. I'm getting, as everyone is, lots of phone calls with a need to know anything. Do we have anything to communicate to our citizens?
At this point, in regard to the power, is that what you're referring to?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's still continued to be the rolling as it is now, although areas, they said, once they go out, can be out for a while, and that's going across the state. Of course, we've heard of places in the state that are out totally for over a day or more. So as best we have heard last, and Brian may have any more news from them, they're hoping that, today that will start to clear up some. So that's our hope at this point.
I want to remind citizens who might be listening or watching that we do have the McNeese Convention Center set up as a warming facility. We have cots there. You would need to bring your blanket and pillow and snacks or drinks. We do have some available, but not a lot. So, and we also have the Jeep organization who's willing to pick up folks if they need some transportation, and their telephone number is 374-0826. So let us know, citizens. This is the best information that we have at this point, but the McNeese Convention Center is available if you need a warming facility, a warm place to be. With that, we will move into the consent agenda. Do I have any items on the consent agenda that someone would like to pull? With none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor Tommy Hebert, I'll move approval of the consent agenda.
Blaine Carter, I'll second.
Thank you. Obviously, no public comments, so if we could all take a vote, all in favor, say aye.
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 I should ask if there's any opposed. With none opposed, consent agenda is passed. We will move into the regular agenda. Comments regarding items on the regular agenda may be made by the public when each item is discussed as outlined. Applicants, proponents, and appellants are accepted from the time limit above and must limit their remarks to less than 5 minutes. We received no public comments on any of the agenda items, so we will move into item B, which is consider resolutions of general support for construction of affordable housing projects as part of the 2021 annual low-income housing tax credit LIHTC program for one, the San Angelo Crossing located at the northwest corner of West Houston Hart Expressway and Northwest Drive. And item two, the presentation would be made, the item two was the San Angelo Terrace located behind the Boulevard Apartments. The developer is asked to pull that item two, meaning we will not discuss the location behind the Boulevard Apartments, but only the items in item B. Bob, you're on.
Good morning, Council. As you mentioned, we are only talking about the San Angelo Crossing. A resolution of support was granted last year for the same property, but the project didn't receive the tax credits in the 2020 round. However, we feel that the project is competitive and we will do well this year. Let me introduce Michael Fogel. He's a representative of the Trinity Housing Development, who will quickly run over through the details of the project. Michael?
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Mayor. I'm going to I'm going to share this presentation, although I won't go into too much detail on the visuals since I know many of y'all are without the benefit of the video. But yes, as Bob said, here we are. This is the San Angelo Crossing development, which had a different name last year, but we previously presented to council last year around this time for what's called the resolution of support. And the reason we're here is the resolution of support helps us to acquire tax credits for affordable or workforce housing. And what that means is we basically have some funding for a project that in return comes with a number of restrictions, including income restrictions for the development, which in turn create reduced rents and make the projects more affordable. This property is located over off Northwest Drive, which is kind of a smaller street, but that's between Furniture Row and Jim Bass Ford, and it's also kind of in front of some existing apartments called the Vistas at Red Creek. And just a quick background about us, we have a number of developments, up to 9 now in Texas. Here's a few pictures. I know some of y'all can't see this, but we also do have a recently built development in San Angelo called Oak Trails, which is our senior housing, affordable housing community right over by the convention center. And for this property, this is on 4 to 5 acres. Last year, we looked at 48 units. We may be able to increase that a little bit this year to 60 or maybe as many as 66. Here's a quick overview of the site plan. This is the site plan for the 48 unit outline. So there's a little bit of room to add an additional acre for more units with plenty of room for stormwater detention and all the typical amenities, community center, fitness room, playground, and sport court. And this is not unlike our existing development. This is not a senior development, so it will serve all ages in the community. There'll be a mix of 1, 2, and even 3 bedroom units. Here's a rendering. And as far as the population served, qualification is based off of a percentage of annual median income. And so most of the units, there'll be a few market rate units, but most of the units are affordable. And that means they'll be reserved for households earning up to 50 or 60% of the area median income. And that's calculated by the number of people in that household, which does include children. So most of the units, kind of looking at this chart, people who earn between $28,000 and $38,000 per year would qualify. And so for a 1 bedroom unit, that's about $585. And I've got a typo there, but $585 to $650 per unit. 2 bedroom units, that's around $700. So that's kind of the abbreviated version. Since I know we kind of talked about this last year, I will open it up for questions.
Michael, it's Brenda Gunter, the mayor. Could you tell us how the Oaks Trail project has done?
Yes, thank you. It's done very well. We are fortunate enough to have been open for a little over a year now, and that's 48 units for seniors. It's fully leased and occupied. Just a great property. It's over there by the convention center, kind of a piece of land that had been vacant for forever, really. And so we were able to go in there and get that developed and occupied. And that's a unique property. It's all single story quadplexes, but they really live like duplexes, and there's front porches and back patios and a lot of green space. So that's over on the Concho River. And so this next property will be on the Arroyo, not quite as pretty as the river, but we're happy to be there.
No, it looks like it's a great project. Billy, you had a question?
I was just going to ask Michael, the slides that you're showing, is it possible for you to send them to my email so when I have power, I can look at them?
Yes, absolutely, Billy. I will resend them to your email. I texted them to a few of you that I have phone numbers for that were not on video. So you could also check your text message for that as well. But of course, yes, I will email it again.
Well, Julia, won't we
Okay.
have that on record to send to the council members as documents?
Yes, if you'll go ahead and send those to me, I can get those out to the council and we'll attach those to the official meeting.
That sounds great.
And just to let you know, they also showed up in the video broadcast. So anyone watching or rewatching this can see the presentation as he presents it.
This is Billy, and I just want to make a comment. Don't have a question since we, reviewed this particular property last year. But it's an ideal location for some additional housing. And, the traffic in that area is, not huge. So I think it's, has good access, entrance, and egress. So I think, Michael, I'm in full support. I don't know if any other council members have questions, but if there are no questions, I would make a motion to approve the resolution.
Thank you, Billy. Do I
Harry
have
Thomas,
a second
second.
from council? And Harry Thomas
Harry
seconded
Thomas.
the motion? Okay, I've got you, Harry. All right, with that, we have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Are there any opposed? With none opposed, item 6B has been passed. We will move into item
Mayor,
6.
could we just clarify that was for 6B1 only?
That is for 6B1 only.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, we'll move into item 6D as in dog. Public hearing on proposed annexation and first reading of an ordinance annexing into the city of San Angelo by petition of the property owner for 1.65 acres out of Casper Berberick Survey 177, abstract number 52, Tom Green County, Texas, and authorizing the city manager to negotiate. We have John James on for this presentation.
Hey, Julia, I'm going to give John my earbuds to see if you can hear him better.
All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this item, Brian, if Brian could go to that next slide. This is an annexation. You've seen this area before. This is the Old Stone area. This is a very small triangle. The frontage on the loop between Bentwood and Old Stone Drive is most of it's in the city limits already. This is just squaring off that property for development of that. So the property owner is asking to annex that small triangular piece. And so this is the required public hearing on that and first reading of the annexation ordinance. That's really all I have, unless you all have questions.
Are there any questions for John James from council members?
Mayor Tommy Hebert, I move approval of this item as presented.
Thank you, Tommy. Do I have a second? Thank you, Tom. No public comments, so we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? With none opposed, the item passes 6-7-0. We will now move into item E. First reading and public hearing of ordinances. 1, amending the City of San Angelo's comprehensive plan, changing certain lands from the neighborhood future land use to the transitional future land use, being one from the single family residential zoning district to the general commercial zoning district lots 1, 2, and track A in the Lucky Loop addition, being 8.916 acres, generally located south of Loop 306, west of Old Stone Drive, and east of North Bentwood Drive. John, you're on again.
Yeah, and my understanding is the intention is, our request is to just table these items until the next agenda. So rather than going through the whole presentation, I'll just leave it at that unless you all have questions.
Julia, I thought we needed to do this.
No, ma'am, we just need to table these because they've been noticed.
Okay, so is there any reason
do
why
need
we
to-
can't?
We
Is there any reason why we can't go ahead and approve it?
No, there's no reason not to. It'll come back on a second reading at the the March 2nd meeting.
I would go ahead and take a vote if someone wants to make a motion on
Mayor,
item
I'll
E.
move that this item 6E be approved.
Thank you, Tommy. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Tom Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. With no public comment, maybe we take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 With none opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Mayor, did we have a public hearing?
Excuse me?
Julia,
We had this published in the agenda to submit any public comments for the public hearing by noon yesterday. We received none. But if you'd like, we could.
no, I think we just need to state that on the record that that's how the public hearing was conducted. So if somebody in the future is watching there, that's clear.
All right. Is that clear?
It is for me.
Okay, then we'll move on to item F, public hearing and first reading of an ordinance approving case Z20-22, a request for approval of a rezoning from the neighborhood commercial, general commercial, heavy commercial, and low-rise multifamily residential zoning districts to the central business district being 0.54 acres located at 2 North Coiningheim Street and 2.72 acres west of Martin Luther King Drive, north of West Harris Avenue and south of West College Avenue. John?
Yeah, this is another rezoning. It's at the request of a property owner to zone to the central business district. You can see the property, if you can see it, we included a few other properties surrounding it. None of those adjacent property owners had any concerns. In fact, some of them were supportive of this rezoning of their properties as well. So we included that entire block in rezoning to central business district. Again, I'll just leave it at that unless you all have questions. But like the previous item, we will need to announce that there was a public hearing opportunity.
All right. Do I have any questions from council? With
Mayor, this is
none,
Harry Thomas. I move to approve as presented.
thank you,
I
Harry.
Billy DeWitt second the motion.
Gonzalez.
Okay, I have a double second, Lucy and Billy. With no public comment at this point, we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Were there any opposed? With none opposed, Julia, do you have the information that you need? Motion passed.
Yes.
Okay. Item G, public hearing and first reading of an ordinance approving a request to name private streets to tractor trail over the complete length from North US Highway 67 to 277, extending 0.25 miles southeast and then 0.45 miles northeast, located in northeast San Angelo near the Tom Green County Detention Center. John, you're on.
This is an item, this is in the area of the county jail. The street tractor trail was extended out towards the jail, and then it takes a 90-degree turn to get over to the jail. And this is simply giving those streets street names to help with 911 and addressing type issues out in that area. And so the extension of Tractor Trail will be named Tractor Trail. And then where it makes a 90-degree turn, it would be named Roy Robb Drive. These streets are private streets that will be maintained by the county until such time as the county improves them to city standards and then dedicates them to the city. But again, this is simply just giving those streets names so that we can get them in our system for addressing and 911 purposes. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from council? With none, may I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve as presented.
Lucy
Elaine Carter,
moved
I'll
and made a
second.
motion. Elaine Carter seconded it. With no public comment, we will take a vote. All of those in favor say aye.
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 Were there any opposed? With none opposed, motion passes 7-0. We will now move into item H, which is the first public hearing and introduction of an ordinance amending the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2020 and ending September 30th, 2021 for capital items, grants, and programs. Tina, you're on.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a budget amendment. I think we have 6 total amendments here. I'll move through them pretty quickly. The first is to budget for water reclamation's contribution to the infill development program, an amount of $40,000. The second one is for a $10,000 increase to budget for additional grant funds and to increase the overall project budget for the new courtesy dock at Twin Buttes Reservoir. Next is to budget for COSA DC funding up to $100,000. That was approved by their board for airport signage project. The actual amount ended up being about $94,500. Next is to budget for Texas Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Is to provides to income eligible households impacted by COVID-19. And it includes a 10% of funds for eviction diversion. And that is a revenue amount of $197,919. This next one is budgeting for the repayment of funds to the Home Buyer Assistance Program. That is an amount of $12,383. And finally, we are budgeting for the Development Corporation's SkyWest project expense in the amount of $1 million. And that's all I have, Mayor. If you have any questions for me.
Does council have any questions for Tina? Okay,
Mayor Tommy Hebert, I'd move
With none, may
approval
I
of
have
these
a
items
motion?
as presented by Tina.
thank you, Tommy. Do I have a second?
Second, Gonzalez.
And I have a second, I think, by Lane and Lucy. And so with that, I will ask for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With none opposed, motion passes 7-0. That concludes our regular agenda. There will be no closed session today. So I will go to item A, the follow-up and administrative issues, which there are none. Item 8C is announcements and consideration of future agenda items. Are there any? With
Mayor?
none, may I have a, yes,
Mayor, this is Lucy Gonzalez. I just wanted to
Yes.
ask, so the MLK presentation will be tabled till next council meeting?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just an announcement for anyone watching, all of the items that we skipped today will be moved to the March 2nd agenda. We were just trying to keep it brief because there's so many people with connectivity issues.
Thank you, Julia.
May I have a motion for adjournment?
Mayor Tommy Hebert, move we adjourn.
Second,
Thank you,
Lucy
Tommy.
Gonzalez.
All right, with that, all in favor, say aye.
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 With none opposed, this meeting, city council meeting of